The Stoics, throughout their long lives, mastered not only the art of resilience and self-discipline, but also the complex nature of human psychology. They understood that influence over others, particularly in intimate relationships, is often subtle, built on awareness and the ability to read and respond to the unspoken desires of another. This understanding of human nature, especially female psychology, can be traced back to their emphasis on observation and control. In today's episode, we're diving into what only 1% of men truly understand, women's most sensitive areas, and how to touch, tease, and awaken these hidden weaknesses. Knowing these secrets isn't about manipulation, but about creating deeper connections by understanding what most men overlook. These insights will give you an edge that can completely shift how a woman reacts to your touch, voice, and presence. Make sure to watch until the end, as these crucial weaknesses are powerful when approached the right way. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share your stories if you've experienced these insights firsthand. Chapter 1. The Power of the Lips. The lips are one of the most obvious yet underestimated weaknesses that women possess. A woman's lips are not just a visual focal point, but they are also incredibly sensitive to touch, pressure, and even temperature. This area holds a direct connection to sensuality, and knowing how to engage with her lips can immediately heighten her desire for more. However, the key to unlocking this weakness isn't just in kissing, it's in the subtle art of teasing and building anticipation. The Stoics taught that patience is a virtue, and here, patience is your greatest ally. Rather than rushing in for a kiss, start by using the power of suggestion. Lightly brushing your fingers across her lips, letting your thumb graze them gently, or simply pulling back right before leaning in too close are actions that set off a chain reaction of arousal. Each move should be deliberate, leaving her anticipating your next step without ever fully committing to it. By delaying gratification, you create a hunger within her, an uncontrollable urge to close the gap between you. One of the most effective techniques is using proximity to play with her senses. Speak to her softly, close enough that she feels the warmth of your breath on her lips, but resist touching them just yet. This subtle act builds immense desire, making her focus entirely on the anticipation of what's coming next. When you finally do make contact, even a light touch of your lips on hers will send electric pulses through her body, heightening the experience. The build-up you've created will make every touch, every breath shared between you, 10 times more powerful. For those who understand female psychology, this is a crucial insight. Women crave the build-up, the suspense, and the slow unraveling of tension. A man who can play this game with mastery not only stimulates her physically but also creates a deep emotional connection. It's not about being forceful but about being aware, reading her body language, and adjusting your approach to her responses. Let her feel the weight of your intention without overwhelming her. The Stoics understood that mastery over desire, both your own and others, was key to unlocking deeper connections. Here, that mastery comes into play. As you engage her lips with care, you're building a bridge between emotional and physical intimacy. Each kiss should feel deliberate and thoughtful, communicating more than just lust, but an understanding of her body and desires. Women, whether consciously or not, respond to this level of awareness. Another secret to tapping into the power of her lips lies in the art of contrast. Don't just rely on a kiss to do all the work, incorporate other forms of stimulation. Lightly brush your fingertips along her jawline, her neck, or gently run them through her hair while your lips engage hers. The combination of different sensations, one light and teasing, the other more intimate, creates a whirlwind of feelings that amplifies her arousal. Even alternating the pressure of your kisses, going from soft to firm, can catch her off guard and send her senses into overdrive. But always remember, the key is never to rush. Rushing signals insecurity, while patience conveys control and confidence. Letting her stew in the anticipation builds an irresistible tension. By prolonging the moment, you give her mind space to imagine, desire, and ultimately crave what's coming next. One final tip: don't underestimate the power of a lingering kiss. After the build-up, when the moment finally arrives, make sure your first kiss isn't quick. Let it linger, making it a moment she'll replay in her mind. The lips, after all, are not just a gateway to physical pleasure, but a direct line to emotional connection. When you kiss her with intention, you're showing her that you see her, understand her, and appreciate her in ways that go beyond the physical. Men who understand this know that a woman's lips are the gateway to both emotional and physical intimacy. How you approach this can change the entire dynamic between you two. A well-timed kiss, or even the subtle brush of a hand across her lips, can communicate more than words ever could. It's about making her feel desired, cherished, and deeply connected to you, all while building her anticipation for what's to come. By mastering this approach, you tap into one of the most powerful and intimate aspects of female psychology, using patience, awareness, and the art of anticipation to bring her closer to you than she's ever been before. Chapter 2: The Sensitivity of the Neck. A woman's neck is one of the most vulnerable and sensitive areas on her body, making it a prime spot for sensual stimulation. The skin on the neck is thin and delicate, meaning that even the lightest touch can evoke a strong response. But much like the lips, mastering the neck requires subtlety and precision. It's not about immediate gratification, but about slowly drawing out her desires by making her feel every inch of your touch. The Stoics believed that true power comes from knowing when to act and when to withhold, and this is exactly how you must approach the neck. A man who understands female psychology knows that this area isn't to be rushed. Start with light, almost ghost-like touches. Brushing the back of your hand or your fingertips along the side of her neck will send shivers down her spine. It's about building anticipation without overplaying your hand. As you move closer, you might lightly trace your lips near her neck, not quite making contact. Feel the warmth of her skin, but don't indulge her desire too quickly. Once you do decide to touch her neck with your lips, start gently. The beauty of this area is that even the softest kiss can feel electric. You're not aiming to overwhelm her senses right away. Rather, you're trying to draw her deeper into the moment, making her hyper-aware of each movement. Whether it's a gentle kiss behind the ear or a soft trail down the side of her neck, you're slowly building an emotional and physical connection. The key to making this work is contrast. After the light kisses, add a bit more pressure, perhaps using your lips or even lightly grazing your teeth along the skin. This mix of sensations keeps her guessing, turning her anticipation into pure desire. Combine this with whispers close to her ear, letting your warm breath brush against her skin as you speak softly, and you will have her fully captivated. The neck is also psychologically significant. It's an area that is vulnerable and intimate, yet it can be easily overlooked by men who don't understand its power. When you show attention to her neck, you're tapping into her desire to be cared for, to be noticed, and to feel wanted. You're not just triggering a physical response, but you're also signaling that you understand her needs on a deeper level. A confident man knows how to balance control and vulnerability, and when you approach her neck with this understanding, you tap into both. You're in control of the moment, but you're also creating a space where she feels safe enough to let her guard down. This balance is what makes the experience unforgettable for her. Chapter 3: Around the Ears, a Zone of Unexpected Pleasure. The area around a woman's ears is often overlooked in the pursuit of intimacy, but it holds incredible potential for arousal when given the proper attention. The skin here is incredibly sensitive, and because of its proximity to her auditory senses, any touch or whisper you make is amplified in her mind, creating a heightened level of awareness and anticipation. Knowing how to stimulate this area properly can unlock sensations that are not only unexpected, but deeply satisfying, taking her by surprise in the best way possible. It's a subtle but potent zone that, when explored skillfully, can lead to powerful arousal. Much like the neck, the area around the ears responds best to a gentle and thoughtful approach. You want to begin with subtlety, allowing the anticipation to build as you slowly explore this sensitive region. Start by running your fingers lightly behind her ears, brushing the area where her hair meets the skin. This seemingly small gesture creates a delightful contrast between the warmth of her skin and the cool air surrounding it, sending tingles down her body and stirring a sense of pleasure. The light touch brings attention to an area she may not often think about in terms of intimacy, which only adds to the element of surprise. As you continue to stimulate her, you can softly trace the outer edge of her ear with the tip of your finger. This touch is light enough to tease, but intentional enough to begin building a deeper level of anticipation. The subtle movements of your fingers, combined with the natural sensitivity of the skin here, will heighten her awareness of every sensation, making her more attuned to the experience. Allowing this anticipation to build creates a sense of longing, making her crave more without fully realizing it yet. But what truly makes the area around the ears unique is the way it blends physical touch with auditory stimulation. The Stoics understood the profound power of words and how they could affect someone's inner world, shaping their emotions and reactions. Here, you have the perfect opportunity to wield that power. As you explore her ears with gentle touches, lean in close and whisper softly. Your words don't even need to be elaborate. Sometimes, the sound of your voice alone is enough to stir her senses. Whispering into her ear, your lips just barely brushing the outer part of her ear, creates a sensation that combines the auditory with the physical. The sound of your voice, paired with the warmth of your breath against her skin, heightens her senses, drawing her deeper into the moment. The proximity of your lips and breath to her ear amplifies the effect, as her brain registers both the sound and touch simultaneously. This dual stimulation, both physical and mental, can create a powerful response, making her more receptive to everything you do next. You can say something soft and intimate or simply let the sound of your breath linger. Either way, the effect is intoxicating. Once you've teased her with these light touches and whispers, it's time to escalate. You can begin by gently grazing the area behind her ear with your lips, slowly increasing the intensity of your touch. A soft kiss just behind her ear or a delicate nibble on her earlobe can send shivers down her spine. The contrast between the whisper-soft sensations and the firmer touch of your lips keeps her guessing, continuously building her arousal. This shift between gentle and more deliberate contact ensures that she never fully anticipates what you'll do next, keeping her engaged and excited throughout. A man who understands the psychology of women knows that it's often the unexpected touches that are the most effective. By focusing on the area around the ears, you are directing attention to a part of her body that may not typically be seen as a primary pleasure point. However, by stimulating it, you are showing her that you understand her body in ways she may not fully realize herself. This not only adds to the physical arousal, but also enhances the psychological connection between the two of you. It signals that you are attentive to her desires and willing to explore her body with patience and care, which makes the experience all the more meaningful for her. The pleasure that arises from stimulating the area around her ears is both surprising and intimate. It's a blend of the physical sensation, the emotional connection, and the psychological engagement that makes this zone so potent. By moving between soft whispers, light touches, and firmer kisses or nibbles, you create an atmosphere of anticipation and excitement that she will not soon forget. This area holds untapped potential, and a man who knows how to unlock it can create an unforgettable experience that goes beyond mere physicality. Chapter 4: The Chest and Nipples, Heightened Sensitivity. A woman's chest and nipples are among the most sensitive and erogenous zones on her body, capable of delivering immense pleasure when approached with care and understanding. The key to enhancing her arousal through this area lies in balancing gentle stimulation with more assertive, confident contact. This sensitivity can either heighten her desire, drawing her deeper into the experience, or cause her to shut down if mishandled. Therefore, understanding the subtleties of how to navigate this delicate area is crucial for an intimate connection. The best way to start is by going slow. This is not an area that responds well to rushed or aggressive touch right from the beginning. Like most erogenous zones, a gradual build-up in stimulation is far more effective. Use the back of your hand or your fingertips to lightly brush across her chest, deliberately avoiding her nipples at first. This light, teasing touch increases anticipation, making her more aware of the sensations building up in her body. It's all about creating that sense of suspense where she's eagerly waiting for more intense contact. Soft, lingering kisses around her collarbone or the tops of her breasts also heighten the anticipation, setting the stage for a more intimate and pleasurable experience. When you do begin to focus on her nipples, it's important to remember that every woman's sensitivity in this area varies. What might feel exhilarating to one woman could be overwhelming or even uncomfortable for another. Start with light touches, whether with your fingers or lips, and pay close attention to her reactions. Small, subtle gestures like gently flicking your tongue or lightly grazing her skin with your fingertips can ignite an electric sensation. Experiment with alternating between soft, feather-light strokes and firmer pressure to keep her engaged, guessing what's coming next. This constant variation in touch keeps her body fully stimulated and receptive, preventing any part of the experience from becoming predictable or mundane. However, it's important to remember that physical stimulation is just one part of the equation. Verbal communication plays a huge role in enhancing the overall experience. Whispering sweet compliments, telling her how much she excites you, or simply speaking softly in her ear adds a layer of emotional intimacy to the physical sensation. This combination of physical and emotional stimulation is what really deepens her connection to you in the moment. Women are often more attuned to the intention behind your actions, and when you combine emotional presence with the right physical touch, the entire experience becomes far more powerful and memorable for her. Confidence is essential when it comes to stimulating a woman's chest and nipples. A man who truly understands female psychology knows that this isn't just about physical pleasure, it's an opportunity to show care, control, and emotional awareness. Approach the area with a mix of assertiveness and sensitivity. There's power in being able to guide the experience while also remaining attuned to her needs. Women appreciate a partner who can confidently take the lead without being too forceful, striking the perfect balance between dominance and tenderness. As you move through these different stages of stimulation, don't rush the process. Every moment you spend building up to more intense contact is an opportunity to create deeper arousal and trust. The goal isn't just to deliver physical pleasure, but to create a holistic experience where she feels fully connected to both you and her own body. The chest, especially the nipples, is a deeply intimate area for many women, and by approaching it with patience and care, you unlock a profound level of intimacy that goes beyond mere physical touch. And it's not just about what you do with your hands or lips. The atmosphere you create plays a big role in how she experiences your touch. Setting the right mood, whether through lighting, soft music, or even the tone of your voice, can elevate the entire encounter. Women are highly receptive to their surroundings and the emotional energy in the room. A calm, inviting environment allows her to relax and fully immerse herself in the sensations you're providing. Furthermore, it's important to keep in mind that this area can hold emotional significance for many women. Some women may feel vulnerable when having their chest touched, and it's important to be sensitive to this fact. Your touch should never feel mechanical or purely focused on physical pleasure. Instead, approach it as a way to build trust and emotional intimacy. The more attuned you are to her feelings and reactions, the more powerful and rewarding the experience will be for both of you. Lastly, always remain adaptable. Every woman is different, and what works in one encounter may not necessarily work in another. The beauty of exploring a woman's chest and nipples lies in the uniqueness of her responses. As you grow more experienced and connected with her body, you'll learn to read the subtle cues she gives, whether it's a sigh, a shift in her breathing, or a slight change in body language. These signs will guide you toward what she enjoys most, helping you tailor each experience to what feels right in the moment. By combining thoughtful touch, emotional presence, and an understanding of her unique sensitivities, you can create an experience that is not only physically pleasurable but deeply intimate, leaving her feeling cherished, understood, and connected to you in a way that transcends mere physicality. Approach her chest with respect and care, and it will open the door to a deeper, more profound connection that she will remember long after the moment has passed. Chapter 5. The Inner Thighs, Teasing Her to the Edge. The inner thighs are a remarkably sensitive and often overlooked part of the body when it comes to intimacy. While many tend to focus on the more obvious pleasure zones, it is this area that holds a secret, untapped potential for arousal. The inner thighs, with their proximity to the most intimate parts of her body, can act as a powerful conduit for desire. When stimulated in the right way, this area can build anticipation, stir powerful emotions, and drive her wild with longing. It's not just about physical sensation, it's about creating an atmosphere of craving and tension, drawing her deeper into the moment. By learning how to tease and excite this area, you open a door to a more intense, passionate connection. To begin, make your touch light and delicate as you brush your fingers gently along the inside of her thigh. The goal here is to be purposeful yet restrained, letting her feel every movement without rushing into anything too quickly. The very nearness of your touch to the more intimate regions of her body heightens the intensity, creating a mental and physical connection that causes her to anticipate what's coming next. This subtle stimulation links directly to her natural physical responses, triggering her desire without overwhelming her senses. This kind of control and restraint is key, as the Stoics knew well. True mastery lies in controlling the urge, even when desire is at its peak. It's about teasing her, making her yearn for more, while holding back from giving in fully. As you continue to explore the inner thighs, gradually increase the intensity. Start by letting your touch linger a little longer, brushing closer to the edge of those intimate areas, but never quite reaching them. This drives her to the edge of anticipation. Her body will respond instinctively, her breathing becoming shallower, her muscles tensing in expectation of what's to come. At this point, you can begin to introduce new sensations by using your lips. Lightly kiss or graze your lips over the surface of her skin, or softly nibble along the inside of her thigh. The contrast between the soft touch of your lips and the firmness of your hands will keep her hyper-aware of every movement, amplifying her senses. This alternating pressure creates a dynamic build-up of pleasure, one that draws her in slowly but powerfully. This entire process should be a slow build, increasing in intensity but never losing the underlying sense of patience. The inner thighs are perfect for this kind of gradual arousal. This area allows you to bring her closer and closer to the edge without actually pushing her over. By maintaining control over her pleasure, you can extend the anticipation, keeping her in a state of heightened awareness and desire. Every touch, every kiss, and every subtle movement becomes part of a larger narrative of teasing and longing, all of which heightens her eventual release when you choose to give her what she craves. Psychologically, the inner thighs are also significant. Focusing on this area demonstrates a level of understanding and attentiveness that many miss. It shows that you're not in a hurry to reach the obvious pleasure points, but rather that you appreciate her entire body as a landscape of potential pleasure. By lingering on the thighs, you communicate that her satisfaction is about more than the physical. It's about the journey, the build-up, and the connection between the two of you. This act of patience and attentiveness not only creates a physical reaction, but fosters a deeper, more emotional connection. She will appreciate the way you take your time, allowing her body to respond naturally, and this level of care deepens the intimacy between you. In this process, you are not just teasing her body, you are engaging her mind and emotions, drawing her into an experience that is as mental as it is physical. The anticipation you build with each deliberate touch and kiss will make her crave more, and that craving is the key to a truly profound connection. By mastering the art of teasing her inner thighs, you are showing her that you understand the depth of intimacy and how to elevate the experience into something extraordinary, something that transcends mere physical pleasure. In the end, the inner thighs hold the power to unlock a deeper level of arousal and connection, making her not just want, but need more from you. The art lies in the tease, in knowing when to give and when to hold back. And as you guide her to the edge with this knowledge, the intensity of her eventual release will be all the more powerful, leaving both of you breathless and deeply satisfied. Chapter 6. The Magic of the Lower Back, Touched Appropriately. The lower back is often underestimated as a zone of female arousal, yet it holds incredible potential when touched appropriately. The reason lies in both its physical sensitivity and the psychological implications of where it's located. The lower back is a vulnerable area, close to the spine, and touching it in the right way can create an instant spark. But it's not just about the sensation, it's about the message your touch sends and how it resonates on a deeper emotional and physical level. When explored with care and intention, the lower back becomes a gateway to an intimate connection that transcends mere physicality. For centuries, Stoics understood the power of subtle control, how a well-timed touch or movement could convey authority and dominance without saying a word. The lower back is a perfect area to apply this concept. When you lightly place your hand on a woman's lower back, you're not only connecting with one of her most sensitive areas, but you're also signaling control and protection. It's a gesture that can make her feel both secure and desired, fostering an underlying sense of trust and connection. This touch can transcend the physical, making her feel emotionally connected and more attuned to your presence, deepening the bond between the two of you. Start with a light touch. Use your fingertips to gently trace the curve of her spine, moving down towards her lower back. The key is to keep it delicate, as the skin here is highly sensitive. This area is naturally responsive to even the lightest contact, so take your time to explore the surface gently, letting her become accustomed to the sensation. Once she begins to relax and enjoy the feeling, you can gradually apply a little more pressure. Using the palm of your hand to make a firmer connection, glide your hand in a slow, deliberate movement from her upper back down to her lower back. This movement not only creates a sense of warmth and anticipation, but also stirs a subtle arousal that builds over time. But don't stop at just the touch. Combine it with body language that signals confidence and intent. When you place your hand on her lower back, gently pull her closer to you. This physical act sends a clear psychological message: she's in your orbit, and you're in control of the moment. The combination of this physical and psychological stimulation will make her feel desired, creating an intimate connection that goes far beyond mere physicality. The lower back serves as a bridge between the physical and the emotional, turning what might seem like a simple touch into something deeply meaningful and profoundly intimate. The magic of the lower back lies in how it can be used to enhance other forms of touch and intimacy. For example, if you're kissing her or whispering in her ear, resting your hand on her lower back creates a sense of closeness and intimacy. It draws her deeper into the experience, making every other sensation feel more intense and meaningful. This small but powerful move helps to heighten her awareness of her body and the sensations she is feeling, ultimately deepening the emotional and physical connection between you. A touch on her lower back has the ability to amplify everything else, making the entire experience feel more immersive and engaging for both of you. Touching the lower back is about more than just triggering a physical response. It's about creating a sense of connection, trust, and emotional security. When done with care, it makes her feel cared for and desired on a deeper level, opening the door to a stronger emotional bond. This is a crucial aspect that many men overlook, but those who understand its power can unlock a woman's desire in a way that few can. A simple touch, when done with the right intent, can speak volumes and create a lasting impression that resonates both physically and emotionally. The importance of touching the lower back cannot be understated. It's a subtle, often forgotten erogenous zone that can evoke strong emotional reactions when touched properly. By mastering this touch, you're showing a deeper level of understanding and attentiveness to her body, which will not go unnoticed. In the end, this kind of attention can make all the difference, turning a fleeting moment into one of profound connection and intimacy. Whether through a light caress or a firmer gesture, the lower back holds the key to unlocking new dimensions of desire and trust that will elevate your bond to new heights. Chapter 7: The Sensuality of the Hips, a Gateway to Desire. The hips are a deeply sensual part of a woman's body, and understanding how to approach them can unlock an intense physical and emotional connection. The hips are not only an area of physical strength and movement, but also a zone of incredible sensitivity. When you touch a woman's hips, you're tapping into a primal part of her desire, an area that connects to both her mind and body on a deeper level. The Stoics knew the importance of balance and control, and this applies perfectly when touching a woman's hips. Your goal is to guide her, to lead her through the experience without rushing or overpowering her. Begin by placing your hands gently on her hips, applying just enough pressure to make her feel your presence. The hips are an area that responds well to firmness, but only if it's done with intention. Use your thumbs to gently press into her hips while your fingers rest on her lower back or abdomen. This subtle combination of pressure can send shivers through her body, as the hips are connected to her core muscles, which respond instinctively to touch. If she's standing or moving, lightly guiding her hips can create a sense of rhythm and flow between you, heightening the physical connection. But the true power of the hips isn't just in the physical touch, it's in the psychological impact. When you place your hands on a woman's hips, you are signaling confidence and control. You're showing her that you know how to handle her body in a way that will lead to pleasure, without needing to rush to more obvious zones. The hips are a gateway to more intimate areas, and by focusing on them, you're building anticipation and desire. As with other erogenous zones, contrast is key. Alternate between light touches and firmer grips, keeping her body engaged and her mind guessing. You can also use her hips as a way to control the flow of your movements together. Whether you're guiding her during a dance or pulling her closer during an embrace, your hands on her hips create a sense of connection that extends beyond the physical. Touching a woman's hips is about more than just arousal, it's about creating a sense of unity and flow between you. It's about guiding her through the experience in a way that makes her feel desired, while also allowing her to trust your control. This balance between strength and subtlety is what makes the hip such a powerful zone for unlocking female desire. Men who understand this crucial weakness know that the hips are a key to a woman's deepest desires, both physical and emotional. By mastering how to touch this area, you're not just creating a moment of pleasure, you're building a connection that will linger in her mind long after the moment has passed. These chapters, From the Lips to the Hips, reveal some of the most sensitive and vulnerable areas on a woman's body. But it's not just about knowing where to touch, it's about how and when. Every movement, every caress, and every moment of anticipation you create will deepen her connection to you. So, if you're one of the rare men who truly understands the psychology of female weakness, you already have the upper hand. Stay patient, stay in control, and watch how the power of your touch can unlock her desire in ways she didn't even know were possible. In the exploration of a woman's body, every touch, every whisper, and every gesture carries a meaning that goes beyond the physical. Each zone, from the delicate sensitivity of the inner thighs to the underestimated potential of the lower back, represents an opportunity to build intimacy and trust. When approached with care, patience, and awareness, these areas become more than just points of pleasure, they are gateways to deeper emotional connections and mutual understanding. A man who can truly connect with a woman understands that the journey toward intimacy is not about rushing to the obvious. It's about taking the time to savor the moment, exploring her body with subtlety and recognizing that every inch has its own story to tell. By focusing on often overlooked areas, like the ears and lower back, you're showing her that you value her as a whole, not just the most commonly recognized pleasure points. The art of connection lies in mastering not just the touch, but the emotional resonance that follows. Women are wired to respond to both the physical and emotional cues they receive, and those who can blend these two elements create an experience that's truly unforgettable. A well-timed whisper, a gentle caress along the spine, or the teasing touch of her inner thigh can become moments that linger long after the night has ended. The Stoics, who taught us the value of self-control, also knew the importance of being present in the moment. In intimacy, this means tuning into her reactions, adjusting your touch, and knowing when to hold back and when to move forward. This kind of mindfulness creates a sense of trust, allowing her to open up emotionally and physically. Ultimately, the key to unlocking a woman's deepest desires is not found in complex techniques or rigid routines. It's found in the connection you build through patience, presence, and a genuine understanding of her needs. Intimacy is not a destination, it's a shared experience, a dance between two people that's as much about trust as it is about pleasure. By mastering the art of subtle control and learning how to touch her in ways that speak to both her body and her heart, you unlock not just her physical arousal, but a deeper connection that creates lasting intimacy. In the end, that's what true mastery is all about, not just the ability to please, but the ability to connect, understand, and create moments that will be remembered long after the touch has faded.